What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. It's 10:45 a.m. here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today. And last Friday, I think it was last Friday that I heard about this, apparently 3 high-ranking executives from the Smartmatic company were recently indicted for bribery and corruption charges. And this happened a while back. I mean, before 2020 for sure. I think it was in 2007 or something like that, or 2002. I'm not sure. Don't pin me on the date. That's not important. What's important is they were indicted for bribery and corruption because they bribed the Prime Minister of the Philippines with over $1 million so that he would give them the contract for the voting in the Philippines. Now, I guess people that want to block out the 2020 election probably don't remember this, but if we remember right, we saw Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani, bringing up some serious accusations against Dominion and Smartmatic, things that had wild stories, like they had to do with Venezuela, and they were created there, and they were created especially to flip votes, and blah, blah, blah. All this crazy stuff that, they did have a lot of evidence for. They were just never allowed to present that evidence, right? So all the people that are always saying, well, Trump brought a bunch of lawsuits, Rudy Giuliani lost his law license in the state because he brought a frivolous lawsuit about Dominion, and Dominion got $750 million from Fox News because of their defamation against Dominion and Smartmatic. And so that is total bullshit. Well, once again, it seems like those stories that Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell were spreading around the world trying to get courts to look at this information were probably closer to true than bullshit, right? So, and we like to say, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, let me tell you something. First of all, if the 3 executives 10 years ago or more were bribing the Philippine Prime Minister, and now they get caught, that means that's their kind of like their MO, right? You think the Philippine Prime Minister is the only one they did that to? You think they're not above, do you think that they're above bribing people with whatever in order to get their machines installed? You think maybe it's not always about money? Like maybe they'll bribe a certain country and say, look, instead of us paying you, how about we just guarantee that we flip the votes in your direction? Because these machines can do that. There's been proof that the machines can do that. And I know that I'm mixing up Dominion and Smartmatic lumping them together. They do have something to do with each other, right? They're not completely independent of one another. And apparently the Smartmatic is the software that's on these Dominion machines. So to try to pretend that these machines are so secure and there's no way that they can flip votes, and that's why we use them, is so they count faster and blah, blah. Well, they apparently don't count that much faster because every other country on the planet can count their votes and get their votes results out by election day. Only America can't seem to do it. And they even have these awesome machines that aren't supposed to be connected to the internet, but they can, cannot flip votes, but they can, and cannot be hacked, but they can, because the Democrats went to a hacking convention in 2016, I believe, to watch a 12-year-old hack one of these machines. So all of the things that they say to kind of cover their ass against these accusations that they were doing something that impacted the election results have been proven bullshit. The only difference is it hasn't been looked at by courts. And I don't understand why we're still using these machines in America, and especially now that these people, these 3 executives, I mean, these are high-ranking people. These are people at the top. They're apparently, they're corrupt. Now, look, I apply the same principle as I do with regular people. They have not been convicted yet. They have not been proven guilty in a court of law. But that being said, apparently there's some evidence about it. So let's wait and see what happens. But if it comes out in court, I'm not talking about what punishment they get, because a lot of people like to say, well, if they didn't get if they didn't get convicted, then they didn't do it. Well, for you, I'd like to remind you of how courts work. You see, you have to convince the judge or a jury that they're guilty. You know what I'm saying? And if their lawyer is better, and they can weasel themselves out of the conviction because they are able to tell a better story to the jury or the judge, or technicalities or whatever, all kinds of things can happen why guilty men go free and innocent men get locked up. So let's remember that when it comes time. But some evidence will come out in discovery about it for sure. And so it does look like they did this. So it means that they're not above it. And it probably means that they practice this, they use this practice in other places, including America, because they've lied about pretty much everything else that the public had questions about after the 2020 election. So I think it's pretty much time to dump these machines. It's crazy that something as important as the elections, right? It's pretty important. Why would the government let a private organization with privatized software that nobody can look at, nobody can get into, nobody has the information about, nobody can read the source code, why would they use that or that company to do the elections? Well, because maybe that all the companies have the same policy. Well, then, as the government, you say, okay, well, if you don't change that policy, we want in to the code, we want into the software, right? Because we want to make sure and verify. We don't want to have to just trust you. We want to verify if these machines aren't flipping votes. I think that's a perfectly normal thing to do, and the government shouldn't be bullied by these companies and say, well, look, every company that makes voting machines has this same rule that we don't give our software away, right? We don't give the source code away. Well, if they want to do business in America, I would say they have to. I think that's where we have to go. I think it's ridiculous these machines are used anyway after 2020 and after they got hacked at that convention. I think that should have been it, right? That should have been the end of it with those machines. Once you can prove that the machines are hackable, and I don't know if it's really a 12-year-old, but they're hackable. Once you can prove that, that pretty much means that's the death of the machine. For America, for a so-called democracy, a so-called free country where votes matter, I think that would be the death nail in the coffin of these machines in the voting structure of the United States and most other Western countries. But we'll see what they do. Probably not. They're going to want to use them again, especially now in 2024 when it's Trump. You see, when they're going to want to use them again for sure. So I think that's pretty crazy, because it looks like these. If you read the article about it, I think it was on Reuters. It does show that Smartmatic and Dominion have something to do with Venezuela, and they are now being actually accused and they're going to be prosecuted on bribery and corruption charges. So I think it's important that people who are interested in election integrity keep a close eye out on this case. If I hear anything more about it, I will certainly pass it on to you. Another thing I'd like to mention for this Insanity Report today is that Trump and Elon Musk did a Twitter Spaces, and I'm right in the middle of listening to it right now. Of course, I didn't listen to it live because I'm sleeping at that time. We're in a totally different time zone, as you know. And they got well over 1 million viewers, or 1 million watchers or listeners, or whatever you call it on these Twitter Spaces. 1 million people, okay, tuned into this conversation. And it's basically just Elon Musk and Donald Trump having a telephone conversation about the state of the country, what Trump's plans are. They talk about the assassination attempt. It was entertaining. They're funny, and they're having a good conversation. Of course, the European Union and the European prime ministers and the politicians, the leftist politicians here in Germany and also in the other European Western countries who are big on censorship, they are clutching their pearls, people, about this conversation. They threatened Elon Musk. They're about, this is going to be a conversation full of misinformation. Yeah, because Elon Musk and Donald Trump are two of the most powerful figures against their globalist crazy agenda. So they hate them, obviously. They hate Elon Musk because he's bringing free speech back and allowing people in these countries in Western Europe to say what they want on X, while they've got Facebook and TikTok and the other platforms pretty much under their thumb. Matter of fact, the European Union Commission offered Elon like a secret deal. Basically, you censor whoever we want and we'll never fine you. That's mafia shit, people. Okay, and Elon Musk basically told everybody in the world that that's what happened. And now they're even more pissed off at him. It's fantastic. And they hate it that he's calling out the UK government for allowing these riots that are going on to continue, because they are allowing them to continue. Not because they're not cracking down on them, no, because they're not addressing the problem that started the riots. And they never will. And that's going to cause more riots and more problems. So the possibility of a civil war in England, which will end up being the regular British citizens against the imported Islamist citizens, that is thanks to the mass immigration policies of the government that they are not willing to address in England, nor are they willing to address them anywhere else in Europe. They want mass illegal immigration to continue. Obviously, they're not going to do anything about it. So it's funny that if Elon Musk says, it's going to be civil war, that the politicians in England say, no, Elon Musk is calling for civil war. No, he's just calling out something that he thinks is going to happen. And everybody knows that. But of course, these politicians want to be able to point the finger at somebody when civil war breaks out because of their inaction. They can then they can point to Elon Musk and go, oh my God, Elon Musk, civil war. He's the one who started it, guys, because of his rhetoric on the internet that caused it. So they want to be able to do that, and that's what they're trying to go for. So everybody in the establishment here in Europe is totally pissed that this conversation could even happen on X. How dare Elon Musk use the platform that he owns to have a conversation with Donald Trump, who is regarded as Orange Hitler pretty much everywhere. So, yeah, I love it that it took place. Now, they did have a big DDoS attack. Everybody knows about it, I think. I'm not telling you guys anything new. Maybe by European Union people. Who knows who did it? It's going to be hard to find out. They had a big DDoS attack, but they overcame it. And they had over 1 million people tune into it. It fluctuated a little bit, but even an hour and a half into the conversation, it's still at 1.3 million. I don't think Kamala is going to hit those numbers with her trans white people for Kamala Zoom calls. You know what I mean? These liberals look absolutely ridiculous with their fucking Zoom call. When you've got a Twitter Spaces that reached over 1 million people. That's a crowd, people. So you see, whatever the polls are telling you, they might be right, but that's temporary. There is no way that most of the country isn't behind Donald Trump on this election. Kamala Harris has nothing to run on. She's actually even stealing Donald Trump's slogans. No taxes on tips and closing the border. What the fuck? She's been in government. She's been at the vice president for 4 years. The fuck she didn't close the border for then? And people who don't notice these things, you people have got your head up your ass. I mean, these things are clear as day. But they are relying, and I say this a lot of times, the Democrats and the Kamala campaign are relying on dumbass people. That's what they need. They need people who will ignore what they see in front of their eyes and take the truth and reality from CNN, MSNBC, and these people. That's what they want. They want dumbass people who don't know what's going on because they are too stupid to open their eyes and look at what's going on, to continue to be dumb, so they vote for them. Because only dumbass people vote for them, right? And right now, it looks like, if you look at the polls, right, it looks like there's still a lot of dumbass people. That's bad, people. That's not good news. If you've got that many dumbass motherfuckers in America, then you got a problem. You got a real problem. So, look, Twitter Spaces with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, I recommend highly that people go and take a look at it. And, I'm sure a lot of people that watch me already have. And it's fantastic to see that they pulled massive numbers, massive numbers. And hey, if Kamala wants to reach that many people, maybe she should ask Elon Musk to do a Twitter Spaces with her. I'm sure Elon Musk would do it. Just Kamala won't do it. Because, Kamala can't string together a fucking coherent, intelligent sentence in just regular speech, much less for, 3 hours or 2 hours on a podcast interview or on Twitter Spaces. She's not going to be able to answer any questions from Elon Musk. She didn't have any answers for any of that stuff. The only thing she can do is get pissed off and show her, I'm the girl boss, I am speaking, this arrogant fucking bitch, you know what I'm saying, that just completely disregards her constituents and the people that might vote for her. When they criticize her about anything, she shuts them down and claims she is now speaking. Oh, okay. So Kamala Harris deserves respect, right? Why? Why does she deserve respect? Because she's black? No. Because she's a woman? No. See, respect, people, is earned. Respect is earned. You don't just get respect because you're black. You don't just get respect because you're a woman. I'm sorry. That's not the way it works. Everything in our world works on merit. That's what it is. Not emotional bullshit, merit. And I know that the left is trying to change it to emotional bullshit, but it's not going to work because that just clashes with reality. So anybody who tells you that Kamala Harris must be listened to and regarded highly at all times is obviously an idiot, because she's obviously an idiot. You know what I mean? And she's going to lose people that would vote for her if she continues to talk down to everybody. She's just like Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? She's this arrogant, snotty, snooty, uppity bitch. And she should be completely disregarded, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but that's what I think. All right, guys, that has been the Insanity Report for Tuesday, the 13th of August. If you like my stuff and have heard this only the first time, then you could subscribe to my Substack. The links are below. Go ahead and subscribe for free or paid, and then you will get all the Insanity Reports, the weekly rant, podcast recommendations, and all my articles, which are pretty detailed, in your inbox as soon as they come out. So I would appreciate you guys sharing my stuff around and subscribing either for free or pay as a paid subscriber for $5 a month. Highly appreciate it. Guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.